Hello, and welcome to the first episode of this new tutorial series where we will be looking at how to create a basic Minecraft type clone with multiplayer. Obviously, it doesn't look quite as good as Minecraft or pretty much anywhere as close, but you'll be learning a lot about 3D graphics and networking through this tutorial. So if you can see this guy in front of us, and we can build and destroy things. And that other person is actually me on cell phone. So we're also going to be doing mobile controls as well as PC. As you can see from this basic diagram, how it works is on the right we have 3 different web browsers. Could be a phone, could be a tablet, could be a PC, and they all connect to a server. And that one server is what will contain all the world data and also send information back through these lines. So for example, if I move on this device, it sends through here, and then it sends it over to here and to here, so that they can see that player actually move. And the way that we're going to do this is by using node.js and WebSockets. In order to follow along with the tools I'll be using, you're going to want to Google Notepad++, hit this top link. The top one will be the latest release. I would scroll down to where it says download 64-bit, unless you specifically know you have a 32-bit processor, and you can just simply run the installer. The next one is Xampp. Same thing, you're just going to click the top link, download for Windows or whatever you're using, run the installer. Now the last thing that you're going to need is slightly more complex. So you're going to Google node.js, go to the downloads, and then there's going to be the .zip files, and that is what you're going to want if you're on Windows 64 or 32-bit. If you're on Linux, for example, you'll download the Linux binaries, same thing with Mac. I'm using Windows, so I'm going to download the 64-bit binaries. So once it's done installing and you open up the zip, you should have a folder looking like this inside the zip. You're going to want to create a new folder somewhere on your desktop. This will contain all of our code, and then within that, have a folder called server and a folder called client. Inside the server folder, we'll open up this node folder, take all these, and extract them on in. So now, assuming that you have Notepad++ installed, Xampp installed, and Node.js extracted, you're going to want to start up Xampp and hit this configure button and hit the top. And you should have a notepad open up. It will look something like this. Hold Control and hit F to open up the find and search document root. Now this little portion right here, you're going to want to edit that with the location of where your client and server are. So I'll just hit this top bar, hit Control C to copy it, and then inside the quotation marks, you just replace it like that, and then hit save. And once you do that, you can go ahead and hit start. So with Xampp started, having clicked start next to the top bar where it says Apache, once it lights up green right here, you're going to go to your URL bar and type 127.0.0.1. When you hit enter, you should have a folder that looks something like this. So now what we're going to do is put a file inside of here So that way when we click client, it actually starts to launch the game. So you're going to want to open up Notepad++ first off. And then you're going to want to go to Settings, Style, Configurator, and probably change to a dark theme. And next thing, under Language, HTML. So you can just follow along with this. It's not too important that you know these parts just yet. We'll do a brief explanation. So this top line, doctype HTML, is just going to let our browser know what kind of file it is. Same thing with these HTML tags. You'll notice the tag starts like this, ends like this, with a slash before it. And then body is everything that we can visibly see. Here we have the H1 tag, which stands for header 1. And in between those tags, we'll put the text Minecraft ripoff. So now we'll hit save as. Make sure you're in your tutorial folder under client. Save it as index.html and hit save. Now we go over to client under 127.0.0.1. Should show that. And that is our first step into getting our game actually running. Now this next step is pretty important, might be a little bit harder to follow, so make sure you pay attention. This button in the upper left here of Notepad++ will start a new file. On this one, we're going to type node server.js, all caps on the second line, pause. We're going to hit save as, go back from the client folder and into the server. And then down here, we have to select all types, sorry, it's at the top. And then we'll name that run.bat. Now we'll create another file, and this will be our actual server. So for this first line, we're just going to, if you'd like also, you can hit language J JavaScript. This first line, all it does is just print that the server is running. Now we'll save that in the server as server.js. Now, if we navigate over to our server folder, we'll see run.bat and the server file that we just created. If we hit run.bat, you can see it prints out server running and then stops running the script because that's all there is to it. So I think that just about ends the first episode. You have your base of your client, the base of your server, and in the next video we'll actually start getting into building the actual game. This was just a setup video. Hope you enjoyed and hope to see you next video. Thanks for watching. One last quick thing, if you do happen to be on Linux or Mac, or you're having trouble getting it running on Windows, you can get the directory that your server is saved into, type cd into your terminal or command window, and then once you have cd'd into that folder, you can type node server.js, and it'll work exactly the same. That should work just fine on Linux and Mac as well. So, thank you.